Hello and welcome back to the Data Privacy Lawyer. My name is Funmi Owolabi and I'm the principal attorney at the firm. Today's review, we're going to be looking at cookies. So we're just going to take a look at this cookie notice. So they do clothing and we've got it seems like you can buy in lots of different currencies. So one of the questions that I ask generally is I always ask clients to identify where they process personal data. I think there's a good speculation that I can make here that if people are able to buy in Australian dollars, that it's likely that this organization processes personal data related to Australian residents. I don't know that for a fact, but I can form an opinion based on just looking at the different currencies that this website will facilitate. Let's go to the cookie policy. At Cargo Clothing, we want to make sure that the website we operate looks as good as possible, but also is easy for you to use. To help us do this, our website uses cookies. Cookies help us to assess how you use our website and also how we can improve our website. This means we have the information we need to regularly evaluate whether our website really meets your needs. Some of the cookies we use improve the functionality of our website. So if you choose to disable cookies on your browser, you might find, I'll tell you why I'm reading this. I think it's such a great read. And I also think that somebody that's shopping for cargo clothing would be able to understand what cookies are. When we as privacy lawyers draft these for clients, we don't just look at the legal expectations and the legislation. There's different audiences that lawyers will draft documents for. Sometimes the audience is consumers, especially data protection lawyers. We have lots of different audiences. Let me talk about them. We have an audience of vendors, right? Vendors assist clients with different matters that they have that they need to outsource. Then I have an executive audience. An executive audience basically is an audience of, let's just say C-suite executives who are looking to invest in creating a privacy program. There's different documentation that I will draft for them. Then we have an employee audience. Employee audience are the people that are on the ground that are processing personal data on behalf of their employer. Then we have, I think I've mentioned consumers, employees, executives, different stakeholders. Stakeholders like marketing group, sales group. We've got a product group, a legal group, right? Because not every lawyer is a privacy lawyer. So I also have legal colleagues that I need to educate on what their role may be in the privacy program, because that's also very important. So the reason I was reading this was because I must say that I really enjoyed reading it, and I feel like the tone is very appropriate for those who are probably buying clothing. Sometimes in some of these reviews, I've looked at cookie notices and policies that I feel are addressed for a legal audience, a privacy legal audience, because there is a lot of terminology that appears in some of these policies that I think that an ordinary consumer may not understand. And I'm a big proponent of definitions. If you're not going to use definitions, the tone needs to be the tone that a consumer is going to understand. And I really truly believe that this provision addresses that. It's very simple to understand, and I like that a lot. And I think it's an important aspect of organizations when they are building their privacy program to address the types of audiences and to curate documentation that addresses those audiences, right? An executive level C-suite individual like a VP may not understand the term pseudonymization. They also may not understand the term data controller. There needs to be an explanation in a manner in which they're going to be receptive towards, right? I also think it's important not to put those types of definitions in these notices because ordinary consumers also do not know what pseudonymization is or what a data controller is. So tone is very important. Okay. Our website uses 18 cookies. That's wonderful. That's excellent that they've identified that. I want to talk about this for a minute. I think it's important on a continual basis to do an audit of the types of personal data that are being collected. Well, there's a couple of reasons, but let's talk about one. One being you need to keep an eye on how you collect personal data so that you can be transparent to your consumers about the types of personal data that you do collect and make sure that you're able to maintain your privacy obligations based on what legislation dictates. That's really important. I like that they also list the cookie name, the type that it is, and the purpose. there's already really good indications that this is a very well drafted cookie notice, in my opinion, because of the tone and the fact that they've listed all their cookies and they're very clear on how many that the website uses. That's really very important. Okay, so we're not going to go through too much, but I think that there are definitely indicators here that this cookie notice has been thought through well. Obviously, this is just a short video. I can't opine to that, but I definitely think there's different markers that I also look for, that I'm able to identify when I do these public facing reviews, that indicate to me that privacy is something that is considered by an organization. So I hope you enjoyed this review. If you have any comments or questions, leave them below and I will see you in another review.